I really enjoyed the pacing of this week's episode. Once it got going, it never stopped. I thought it was a clever idea to include Alan into the game via online hologram link, which I suppose could be a nod to online gaming. The wizard, you could clearly tell he was having fun with this, because as he thrilled, he was clearly immersed in his work. And to quote Raphael from the 1987 Ninja Turtle series, well, the boy likes his work. So yeah, the writing was very tightly knit, very fast-paced, and it was nice to see Kao get her own focused episode, with her Thunderbird being the only one that was launched, because Alan was still up on Thunderbird 5 fixing the space elevator. And it was nice to see Kao at the end kind of let her serious side down a few numbers and just allowed herself to immerse herself in a little fun time. It's weird to see John back on Tracy Island, considering in this series he enjoys being up in space more often. But then again, if I could be allowed to float around in little to no gravity, I think I would find that very therapeutic as well. So yeah, writing, little to no complaints this week. For voice acting this week, I'm going to get the negatives out of the way straight out. With Amy Edwards and Craig Steen as the Chaos Crew, I hate to be the bearer of bad news to the producers of this series, but this is something that I share an opinion with my brother, the Random DC. Not all us people from the UK have stereotypical Cockney accents like we're trying to sound like an exaggeration of Tracer from Overwatch. It's like, not all of us sound like that. I appreciate because it's an animated series you have to have a little bit of an exaggeration, but not all of us sound like that. Some of us sound like we're from Newcastle, Liverpool, Leeds, Manchester, or even Bath. How you doing, by the way, Neil? Or even Southampton, or even from Bristol. But, yeah, the exaggerated Cockney accent is just like, no, stop. Because I'm pretty sure even most people from London would be like, okay, seriously, we don't sound like that. Come on now. For Sylvester McCoy, I really enjoyed his performance as Azzy Thrill, because here's a guy who you could tell he's enjoying what he's doing by hamming it up. Not to the levels of Mark Hamill as the Joker from Batman the Animated Series, but you could tell he's having fun. Although Mark Hamill as a guest voice actor on Thunderbirds or Go, that would be interesting. You just imagine like, ew, I'm going to be teaming up with the Hood this week on Thunderbirds. Yes, Batsy, I'm going to take a break from you. And there's Bat's like, hey, Hood, go nuts. And then, you know, Joker looks at the Hood and goes, you remind me of something. Don't you have a cousin of yours last name Luthor? I don't know what you're talking about. Although, a lot of people have made the comparison between the Hood and Lex Luthor. I mean, you know, the business suit and, you know, just the overall look is like... The two of them have similar styles. It's just that I feel like Lex Luthor is a little bit more subtle than the Hood. But we're getting off the point. Angel Colby, David Menken, and Rasmus, they nail it as ever. It's actually interesting just to see the trio of John, Alan, and Kao for this week. And I'm intrigued to see when Scott and Virgil are going to be returning, because we need to see more of those episodes. So voice acting, it's a really, really, really mixed bag this week. But for the most part, it's fine. I really enjoyed the fantasy-styled animation with regards to magic and wizardry, as I feel like this is where Weta Workshop and Milk VFX really came into their own this week, because if they were to do another animated series that focused more on this sort of style with the accenting of the lights and the illumination around certain locations, objects and people, I feel like this is something that they could really excel in for a future series. Because it really felt like you were going off into a different world with that. And I felt like the golem creatures that they had in there may have been an unintentional nod to the golem boss fight from Sonic Adventure 2, because I felt like it was an unintentional nod to that. So, to those who are watching, and I know Carolyn is watching this with some intent, here is your challenge for this week. Superimpose the cast of Sonic the Hedgehog, whether it's original, well, classic or modern, or heck, I just said SA2, so superimpose the cast of Sonic Adventure 2 piloting the specific Thunderbird. So Sonic would be Thunderbird 1, Knuckles, because he likes to be alone most of the time, they'll be on Thunderbird 5, Tails would be in Thunderbird 2, Amy would probably be Thunderbird 3, and we'd have to think of somebody else for Thunderbird 4. Maybe put, like, I don't know, Sonic or Knuckles in charge of that one as well. But there is your challenge for this week, folks. Superimpose Sonic and Company piloting the Thunderbirds. But, long story short, animation, oh yeah, it excelled my expectations this week. As for my final thoughts, I really enjoyed the adrenaline pace this week, and it was nice to see KO lighten up a little as opposed to her usual all business attitude. It's just nice to see her lighten up and just actually enjoy the game, and she was even playing the game at the end of the episode. And I'll be interested to see when the Jeff Tracy arc kicks in, because we're 2 episodes down of the 9 episodes remaining of Season 3, so 7 more episodes. When will the man known as Jeff Tracy return? Until next time, good night from the night, and Thunderbirds are go.